ASTRA now clears a first ever acquisition of 100 plus home developed ASTRA long range air-to-air missiles. Remember, earlier in the day, the Defence Acquisition Council had also passed proposals worth about 38,000 crore is what we are given to understand. That essentially includes not just long-range air-to-air missiles, but also boosting the firepower for the Indian Air Force as well as the Indian Navy. We'll try and go across to our executive editor, Abhishek Kapoor, to try and break down this entire decision that has now been taken by the government. Abhishek, I'm being told, is joining us on the phone line. Abhishek, take us through the decisions that have been taken during the Defence Acquisition Council. Many would say that this is a big boost, not just to the firepower, but also perhaps the long drawn process that we are essentially looking at in terms of procurement, in terms of adding more firepower to the Indian Navy, Indian Air Force, as well as Indian Army.
Well, absolutely, Shravan. In fact, I would say it's about messaging. In the midst of this standoff that we are seeing in Ladakh, Government of India, the Modi government is sending a clear message that we will do whatever it takes to really stare down China to make sure that status quo is established. So whether it is acquiring MiG-29s or squadron plus strength from the Russians, upgrading the 59 existing ones, or picking up 12 more Sukhoi 30 MKIs from HAL in Bengaluru, or the extra expenditure now to be done on ASTRA air-to-air beyond visual range missile, which gets fitted into Sukhois, and then of course the Pinaka artillery rocket system, the efficacy of which we have seen in the desert heat of 50 degree plus centigrade in Rajasthan. I have myself been witness to Pinaka firings in the margin range in Bikaner, for example. So I believe what is important is that beyond 40,000 crore rupee worth of acquisition that have been cleared by the DAC today, the messaging part is equally crucial, where we are telling the Chinese that, see, it's not just about deployment, where every pass has been planned, that there is no element of surprise, and every Chinese soldier or every Chinese artillery fire would be met with double the strength, but that we are willing to boost it even further and make sure that there is no misadventure across any pass or any ridge or any valley anymore in Ladakh. So I believe, as I said, this is more about messaging and, of course, backing it up with money and resolve that India is ready to do whatever it takes to make sure that the Chinese don't move further.
Well, Abhishek, what's very interesting to point out here is that of the 38,900 crore that we are looking at, the proposals that were given the green signal today, about 31,000 crore rupees. This is with regards to indigenous designs. It is with regards to, we're given to understand, acquisitions from the Indian industries. That in itself is a big boost to what the Defence Ministry has always been talking about. The Atma Nirbhar Bharat program in itself once again being reflected in the actions that have been taken by the Ministry of Defence.
Yes, Shravan, you are right. So except for the MiGs that are to be bought off the shelf or from Russians and the upgrades that would be done in the old ones here, the Sukhois are now being manufactured in Bengaluru, HAL for almost a decade now, as per technology transfer, and we have built about 100 plus of them here. And then the ASTRA missile air-to-air system is indigenous, as also Pinaka, of course. And in today's list, as I go through the software-defined radio, which is basically a secured communication support system that also is indigenously designed, and of course the long-range land attack cruise missile that is being developed again at the DRDO laboratory. So between the DRDO and HAL, all these systems are indigenously developed, except for, as I said, the acquisition of MiG-29s that would happen from Russia. So, of course, a big boost to Make in India, a big boost to Atmanirbhar Bharat, and that seems to be another message, I believe, from what decisions that have been taken come out in this statement from the Ministry of Defence.
Right. Thank you very much, Abhishek Kapoor. So we're not only just looking at long-range land attack missile systems, which will be roughly having a firing range of about 1,000 kilometers. We're given to understand that even the ASTRA missiles, which does have a beyond visual range capability, will now be brought in. This in itself is a clear indication where the government is now trying to boost the firepower for all the three services.